Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, all right, let's get right into it. iPhone 8 came out today, and for the first time, and since I could really even remember, um, looks like we got a flop. We got a flop. Looks like the iPhone 8 is a flop. I cannot recall a time, honestly, that there weren't lines on top of lines ready for the next iPhone. And I mean, you can say it could be the anticipation of the iPhone X coming out next month. But I mean, I guess we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. If the iPhone X is a flop too, oh boy. I don't even want to think about that because you know what? At least for those of us out there or for people out there that they enjoy the lifestyle that they live right now. That nice Americana lifestyle, living fairly comfortably. I mean, even if you're struggling out there, still very comfortable compared to a lot of other places. That style of life is in jeopardy if the iPhone X is also a flop. And I mean, I'm trying to just think here of like when's the last time an iPhone has flopped? And I can't recall a time. Not a single one of them has really flopped. Not when it's a new one. I mean, when it's one of those economy versions, or one of like the SE or the C, or one of those things, the economy models. Yeah, those sell a little bit. But this is a brand new iPhone. This is the iPhone 8. It is flopped. Nobody is standing in line for it. And a lot of people are pointing to, like I said before, the iPhone X. Now you can have a talking poop emoji. But this is the thing, I'm not sure users are really down with the whole face being your password and your identity type thing, because now the police could go open your iPhone. All they gotta do is lock you up, scan your face. Now they're in your iPhone. And nobody think about that one, did they? Or was that the thought the whole time? Who knows? But iPhone 8, as of right now, is a L. It is a flop. It is a no. And it's funny because, right, Apple is probably the cornerstone of Silicon Valley tech money in the United States. So, yeah. I mean, people might want to make jokes like, oh, the iPhone flopped. And, in my opinion, I don't think I didn't think it was a good phone. If it was any other phone, any other brand, the flop wouldn't really matter. But the United States stock market, our stock market, is tethered to the success of Apple iPhone products. So if the X flops, that's not good. That is not good for the economy. Also, speaking of not good for the economy, London decided to ban Uber. London decided that Uber is no longer fit to be a taxi service. They're saying that they're unfit because probably the main reason I would say that they're unfit is they can't regulate it. There's just not enough regulation. It's not as regulated as the taxi service that they have over there, which is what makes Uber such a successful company here in America and globally, where there isn't really that much regulation, is they can just boom, 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 move how they want. And, they don't really own the cars. That's more of a new thing that they started to do, unlike these other taxi companies where they own the cars and they inspect the cars and they provide the cars. With Uber, you tell them what model the car is, and they make sure that it kind of works a little bit. And I mean, you're on your way. As long as it's from you know, not more than 5 years ago, and it works and it passes inspection, you're in there. You could drive. There's really the background checks that they were doing aren't all that great. I mean, that's why you keep hearing so much about sexual assault and rape. I mean, it's rampant in the Uber driver community, and in the United Kingdom, specifically in London. Um, One of the reasons why they had to shut it down is because these incidents were going unreported. It seemed that the Uber branch over there in London was trying to cover up what was really going on. They were trying to cover up the amount of sexual assaults and rapes that were going on. And I mean, that's a common thing uh, in Uber is, you know, rapists and people that do sexual assault become Uber drivers, and they prey on young intoxicated people. It's been like that for a few years, and a place like the United Kingdom, it's not like America that you don't just have freedoms like that. Like, they regulate and they monitor a lot of things, and the government is very involved in the policies of everything that goes on out there in the United Kingdom. Like I said before, you're not blessed with the freedoms that you get over here in America. And a lot of people like to, I'm saying, yeah, get the short end of the stick, but I'm telling you, you don't want to you don't want to live in one of these European countries, because you don't get the same freedom. A lot of these European countries don't have the same freedom, and they're just as racist. Like, that's the thing that you got to realize here is the racism is global. It's not an American phenomena. You're gonna get looked at funny and called names pretty much anywhere you go, especially in these Asian countries like Korea. It's bad out there. Like, you think you get looks here, you're gonna get real serious looks in Korea. But that's beside the point here. All right, Uber is no longer going to be in London unless they can appeal this decision that the London traffic. I don't know what their official agency is called, but they're the London Traffic Administration, basically. I don't know if that's what they're called, but the people in London that decide what drives on the road and what doesn't, they decided Uber is a no. And they said it's the regulations, the amount of unreported crimes, more specifically the sexual assaults, and I also think the black cabs. That's a huge thing, especially in London. Um, those guys are starting to lose money, and unlike in America, those guys are very solid in the unions. Like, those European job unions, those labor unions are strong. They're very, very strong. So they weren't standing for that. And that's the thing is, like, what I'm saying, when you go to these other countries, you can't really enjoy the same freedoms that you do in America. And that's the thing that, like, especially white people don't understand when they go over. Like that dude that went over to North Korea and ended up in the coma. Bro, you don't get gifted the same freedoms globally. Like, this is a place where you could do that. And I mean, like I said, go to these other countries and try. I bet you, yo, go to the United Kingdom and start preaching that kill the cracker shit. I promise you, you will go to jail. I promise you, you'll go to jail, like ASAP. Like, nobody's playing that shit out there. You can say that shit all you want out here, as long as you're not violently threatening somebody. People say that shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? But that's beside the point. Again, all right? In the United Kingdom, you don't get that freedom that you get here. So that's one of the reasons why you're not seeing Uber pop off there anymore. And that's an L for Uber, because London's one of the richest cities in the world. That's 3.5. They said they're losing 3.5 million users, basically losing over 4,000 drivers. Do you know what that's going to do back here home? That's a hit we're going to take, all right? Because Uber is one of the pillars of our economy now. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the share economy places like Uber and Airbnb and Lyft. And then you also have the big tech companies going in because they all tie in together. They're all connected through Silicon Valley. And that's where all of the money's coming in because let me tell you, we don't really make anything in this country anymore. So if Uber catches an L like that overseas, that once again comes back here in America. And like I said before, if you're one of those people that really enjoys your way of life here in America, I'm telling you, like, it's a serious L that's coming down the pipeline. That's 2 L's coming down the pipeline, all right? The first one, potentially, we got to see what happens later on in the week. We got to see what happens with the iPhone X. But the iPhone 8 flopping is bad news. It's bad news. Uber getting axed over in London, more bad news because you know what happens? Other countries follow suit because there's other countries that have been trying to get rid of Uber. There's other countries that have been trying to regulate Uber, but they didn't have the means to do it. This sets a precedence for that, all right? So it's hard. It's hard, honestly. It's hard to really gauge the effects of these two things, but you know, people don't, it goes right past people's mind. Like, the catalyst for an economic meltdown is really as easy as a phone flopping and a few natural disasters. And then you add on top of that the #1 taxi industry that's based here in America. The #1 taxi industry in the world is losing one of their most lucrative clients. That's not good. And that's not even like the beginning. Like Uber's been really falling off ever since well, I mean, honestly, since the sexual assault allegations started getting like real big numbers, because there's a lot of creep Uber drivers out there that are sexually assaulting women and men too out there. It's everybody's getting touched out there, man. There's some nasty people. All right, there's nasty people out there. But not only that, after they got hit when they tried to lower their rates, when the New York taxi drivers were on strike, that was a bad look for them. Being on board with Donald Trump, that was a bad look for them. I mean, there's just been a lot. There's just been a series of unfortunate events that have been hurting Uber. And this is something that could really actually tarnish the company. All these other events, they're bad for PR. This is bad for business. This is setting a precedent for possibly future countries and markets to say, Uber, you're going to have to start doing this and that, or y'all can't be doing that over here. And Uber can't exactly afford to do that because they don't own, like, they don't spend certain money. There's certain things that they don't purchase. They rely on their contractors to provide that. So once you start getting in the way of that, that becomes a problem. And I'm telling you, like, all these natural disasters coupled in with the flop of an iPhone, if the iPhone X flops and we get hit with like another few natural disasters, the fat lady's gonna start singing, bro. I'm telling you. The iPhone 8 flopping is, I can't believe it. I mean, I can believe it because a phone of that quality should flop, but last time I checked, everybody was still under the iPhone spell. I mean, I remember people saying they don't care if it's $1,000 or if it chops your nuts off. They're just still gonna choose it over an Android. You know what I'm saying? There's people like that. And if Apple still has the country brainwashed like that and it still flops, we are in serious trouble here, all right? Now, I would say, you know, don't hold on to certain information too hard. Don't you know, read into things too hard. But I mean, look, I think it's pretty obvious. iPhone X flops, America flops. That's just the way I see it. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Uber. We'll see what happens with Apple. We'll see what happens with these natural disasters. But all I know is this is ripening itself for a economic calamity. You know, economic calamity. And let me tell you this: there's always a winner in an economic calamity. All right, it's not just everybody losing. Somebody's gonna win. Somebody's gonna win big. So if you're still into this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, you still want to live that lifestyle, prepare yourself. Hedge your bets against the market. Hedge your bets on it collapsing. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. Signing off. Hopefully this video is advertiser friendly. Talking about what I implored is the iPhone X spying on you. No ads. Okay. Well, let's see if they put ads on this one. But all right, guys, peace.